So next up is Kevin Joyce from TAG. Kevin, how are you?
Excellent, Ralph. How are you?
I'm very good. So you've got Probe, Monitor, Visualize behind you, 100% software. What's TAG all about?
TAG is about improving the quality of service that media and entertainment companies give to consumers. And we do that through a probing, monitoring, and visualization software that allows them to probe the video stream for errors. And if they want to visualize those errors, they put it up on a monitor wall, traditionally called a multiviewer. Or if they just want to probe and give that data to some kind of NMS system like Data Miner or some of the others out there, we can provide all that information as well. And because TAG has been 100% IP software and COTS and Cloud for 12 years, our IP scars are like this thick on our backs. So we have quite a bit of experience in the IP world. And of course, right now is a pretty busy time for IP workflow.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Well, you've given me a video here, so let's have a look at some of your work.
This is really a rugged planet.
Landing on the moon was no doubt one of the world's most impressive achievements.
That's one small step for man.
This operation required profound ingenuity.
One giant leap for mankind.
But unfortunately, TV technology didn't keep pace with the digital age. And then two guys realized it was time for a change. Homer and Gall saw a broadcast industry heavily constrained by clumsy tools, workflows, and business models, using numerous dedicated hardware solutions that are obsolete the day they are installed and sit idle 80% of the time. So they envisioned a different future, a zero-friction future. A future based on freedom. The freedom to use your broadcast applications in a simple, smart, and agile way. A future where you can deploy broadcast applications where you want, when you want, and for as long as you want. TAG solutions have transformed the broadcast industry, introducing it to zero friction on 3 levels: technology, operations, and asset utilization. TAG software is multi-featured with probing, monitoring, and multi-viewing. This allows it to be deployed across live production, playout, delivery, and OTT. TAG's 100% IP software works on COTS and clouds, providing maximum operational agility. The zero-friction business model allows you to manage your license across your entire ecosystem. Uncompressed video, compressed, J2K, and OTT. You can change formats, location, and events anytime. No wonder the biggest brands in the broadcast industry use TAG. They all realize the infinite value of a zero-friction experience. TAG Zero Friction. It's not just a tagline, it's the bottom line.
Come on, did you see that, Ralph?
That is a great video. That's woken me up. Right, I'm ready for anything now. So let's talk about zero friction then.
Sure.
Who is using who's got your products right now? What are they doing with them, and what challenges are they solving?
The largest media companies in the world are using TAG right now. You name them. You know, all the big ones they offer. So
you could name them, Kevin.
All right,
I'm putting you on the spot.
I will. Disney, Amazon, NBC, CBS, Sky, the BBC.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
So you know the who's who, and you know the beauty of that is that our customers really are the reason. Man, this is not going to be not meant to be corny, Ralph, but all the innovations that TAG has come up with over the years after the initial product that TAG released to the marketplace have been because of the customers. For instance, the fact that we can even have a strategy of zero friction really has a lot to do with Sky. And Sky was using the TAG system in a compressed workflow. And you know, one of the chief engineers at Sky was pushing Tomer. By the way, TAG stands for Tomer and Gall. If you didn't know that, it's the 2 initials of the guys. And the engineer at Sky pushed Tomer and said, "Why can't you just do uncompressed in commercial off-the-shelf hardware? No one had ever done it before." And And Tomer's one of these people that he would say, I never said I couldn't do that. I could do that. And, sometimes in life, it's best to not know what you can't do.
Right.
And Tomer figures out how to do uncompressed in commercial off-the-shelf hardware, which now allows them to use the tag system across all their broadcast applications. And then that rolls this out into zero friction. We're saying, whoa, you can use the tag system for uncompressed and live production. You could use it in play out for uncompressed or in compressed. You can use it in your delivery in compressed workflows, and you can use it in OTT, and you can even use it in IPTV systems. And so we said, you can use it to probe, you can use it to monitor, you can use it to visualize. They can do all these things with the tag system. It really was like a Swiss Army knife. And then the customer said, well, if you can do all this stuff, tag, why don't you allow us to move the license wherever we want? Why do I need to buy so many licenses from tag? Why do I need to buy licenses for live production in London, and then have to buy a whole bunch of licenses in New York for OTT and blah, blah, blah. And we said, you know what? You don't. What if we actually allowed you to have the maximum asset utilization, where you bought the licenses that you needed across your whole ecosystem, and using our licensing tool, you manage your licenses efficiently, and then you don't have to buy excess capacity just because you're inefficient. And they said, okay, cool. And we launched that with zero friction. So now we give the customers all the flexibility, operational agility, and it gives them the best return on investment. So that's what zero friction's about.
And we're living in times now where, obviously we'll mention the C word, COVID. We're living in these times where software is more and more important, and things like this live stream.
Sure.
Has anything changed for you because of COVID? Are you a lot more busy? What's going on with the business?
It for a couple of months, everything kind of shut down. There was a fear factor. So I mean, let's just be straight. But then once I think the world realized, I'm sure you went through this as well, Ralph. Everyone's like, well, when things get back to normal, and we kept saying, guys, if you're thinking normal was how you did stuff 6 months ago, that's never happening. And in the last couple of months, I think people realized, you know what, let's just get on with it. And it has been very busy. The large projects got picked up again. There's far greater collaboration going on between competitors, and people that didn't really work closely before have to now. And because the media companies are saying, guys, I don't care. I want to buy this product from this guy, and I want to buy this from that, and I want them to work together. And so as Plato said, necessity, is the mother of invention, and people needed new workflows. And certainly the cloud is huge. OTT is huge. The scale, you wouldn't believe the scale of some of the projects, of the amount of channels that some of these media companies are going to launch. I mean, thousands of linear channels to be launched over the next couple of years. So yeah, it's a good time to be in IP and cloud and workflow.
Well, and for those of you wondering, we're using cloud right now, but there are a lot of people from the broadcast industry who are very pro hardware, because I can tell you, I mean, I'm a big fan of the cloud. I'll try any new bit of software. That's kind of in my genes. But you have problems, I mean, I think this week, Philip, who did the first tour, had a power outage, for instance, in Texas where he was. I had a computer fail on me this morning, so different computer. I mean, it's not straightforward, actually, but I think some of the big benefits of the cloud, I mean, they're the obvious ones, aren't they? That I'm not running the infrastructure that this is sitting on. In fact, I don't even know whether it's Amazon, Oracle, Microsoft, anything else.
Sure.
We've got a couple of questions in for you, though. So I'll start with the easy one, Kevin. So how is software only? Let me rephrase this. How is a software only solution more cost efficient?
A few ways. Just from a development point of view and the cost to develop, it's a lot easier from an R&D perspective. In DevOps methodology and all the great agile methodologies they have, we can be remotely located. We don't need to come to a facility to build some dedicated hardware. So the development process is is, I think, much more efficient, and it's much faster. I think last year TAG released 48 versions of our software last year, 48. Now, some of those were minor releases, but the speed of innovations and that you can do in the software world is, I think, that much faster. And I think just if you look at the amount of money that has been invested in the last 50 years in vendors in the hardware industry, it really has constrained the business models that people are allowed to sell their product with. You have to stay in a traditional CapEx mode. When you go to software and you start going to a true OpEx model and subscription model that allows people to buy the product for when they want, where they want, and for no commitment, which of course we would have never agreed to years ago. That's the way it is now. You know, you can go buy an hour's worth of processing time on Amazon, and you can buy an hour's worth of monitoring from TAG. And that's a really hard model to go to if you have infrastructure and hardware that you have to offset the cost of. So I think in the future, it's going to be really difficult for hardware manufacturers to be able to compete with software manufacturers.
That's a great point. I've got another question from the audience here. I'm currently using a license to monitor playout in Europe. Can I use the same license to monitor OTT in the US?
Yes, but not at the same time.
That's
right?
That's a bit mean, Kevin.
Just, you know, I'm joking. You're using it in live production as a multi-viewer. There's typically not probing in live production. You're visualizing the content and the cameras, and you're doing the tally and all of that. But once that live production is down and you're no longer using it as a multi-viewer, you can have that license go back into the TAG bank, and now someone in somewhere else in the world or the same facility could be using that TAG license for a different application.
I love that, TAG bank. Well, I've got a second video that is about OTT. So let's watch this.
Cool.
Oh, hi. I was just doing a small investigation. My name is Inspector TAG, and television is my business. Back in the day, it was much simpler. Remember adjusting the antenna on top of your television to get the better signal? The joy you would have when the snow turned into a clear picture? Then cable TV came in and changed everything. We all got used to watching high-quality television without interruptions. But progress never stops. Now we can watch television anywhere, anytime, on any device. Unfortunately, the internet was just not designed to deliver quality television. And so once again, screaming at the screen. As you can see, it's hard to pinpoint who's to blame. The different players in the television ecosystem are interconnected. Errors may occur anywhere, wherever the files are being manipulated. And so, this is where I come in. Thanks to our brilliant team, we're able to inspect, monitor, and view the television signal as it moves through the ecosystem and tag errors when they occur.
They don't call you Inspector TAG for nothing.
You got that right.
Let's see how it's done in the OTT cloud. This is what a typical OTT delivery workflow looks like. Everywhere you see the moving gears is a location where the television signal is being manipulated. The video received at the head end of the system is being decrypted, decoded, and transcoded in various bit traits, and then has to be delivered in the correct order to the end users. Errors may occur at each of those stages, and this is where our inspecting capabilities come into play. For example, here at the head end, we can detect packet loss, which results in a pixelated image. Now we'll move to the post-transcode area, where we inspect the different bit traits to make sure they are encoded correctly. Otherwise, the picture and sound may freeze or tear. Finally, at the post-CDN location, we track the file buffering process, checking the manifest in comparison to the content. Otherwise, we'll see this image, which we all hate.
TAG Video Systems is helping you deliver the best quality of service to your clients with our 100% software, 100%
Very interesting. I mean, I've noticed as well on your website that there's a press release that's come out today. So TAG announced today that you've added adaptive monitoring feature for the next level efficiency in high density monitoring. What does that mean, Kevin? What are you up to?
How do you translate that technical garble? Adaptive monitoring is, we talked about this. We talked about the cloud, and one of the things that the cloud really offers you is scale. But the cloud is not free. As a matter of fact, you do have to do analysis to see whether the cloud makes sense for certain applications. So having been involved in cloud deployments now for over 5 years, we're on that next phase of cloud deployment, which is not just making it work. Now it has to work efficiently. And efficiently means low cost. And so what our large OTT clients wanted us to do was to say, we want our cake and eat it too. We want to monitor every single channel that we have. We want to monitor every profile, and we have 16 profiles, different bit rates, and we want to do that on 5,000 channels. Whoa, well that's beautiful. That's let's retire. That's millions of dollars of licenses. And they're like, yeah, but we don't want to pay you that much money. So could you come up with a way that would allow you to monitor every channel, every point that we want, but do it lightly? But when you detect an error, which is going to, and by lightly still means it's a high integrity, high quality, but when you finally do detect an error, you will adapt and go deep, and really deep and analyze that error. So it's cruising along. It's probing and monitoring, tons and tons of points and tons of channels. And when an error is found, bam, it drills deep in, exposes that, to the NMS system or up on the wall, and does a full decode on the file to tell them exactly what's going on. So it allows them to optimize quality with cost.
Now, you mentioned earlier that people can try the software. You were talking about how you can buy an hour of time on the TAG Cloud, I guess. Sure. Do you call it the TAG Cloud? TAG Bank, that's what you would call it. I like the TAG Bank. So how do people get involved? Do they just go to your website, sign up there? Where do you recommend that they start?
You start on the website. You're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but we've only sold one system in 13 years that we didn't give the software to the client first to try. And it actually is part of the zero friction approach of TAG, is that probing and monitoring are complex, and these IP workflows are complex, and the cloud is a pain in the neck. Every one that we do is a unicorn. And so we give our software to our clients, we train them, we get it installed, and our clients use it all up front before they ever decide to buy TAG. And so that's just our approach. And so you can go to the website, www.tagbs.com, hit the upper right corner, says free trial. You fill out the information, our engineers work with you, and within an hour, you have a hash key and you can be probing and monitoring and visualizing with TAG software.
We're almost out of time, but I wanted to ask you, if we were in Amsterdam, I almost thought I wouldn't bring up Amsterdam and a beer by the river or anything like that, but I've done it now. If we were in Amsterdam, what would we have seen on your booth? What's new?
We would have been continuing to push the zero friction. It's something that you're going to see from TAG forever. Everything that we do has to follow the zero friction strategy, including new products that we will come up with will allow people to use new products from TAG and leverage the zero friction model that we have. The adaptive monitoring feature, you would have seen that to really show people how we can balance quality and cost. We just announced a deep integration with Zixi. It gives, so that's, transfer of files. Zixi is quite common in the marketplace, SRT, those applications. But with Zixi, it's the first time that you can actually multi-view within the Zixi environment. So this is a huge feature for Zixi, and our clients pushed us to do that. And then IPTV. Our clients, again, because it's like a Swiss Army knife, they come up with different applications, and our clients are now using the TAG system because they're working in a lot of remote environments to for their IPTV internal systems, so they can view internally their channels and do quality control on that. So that's what you would have seen.
Fantastic. Well, Kevin, it's always a go to your website. Did you say? Let me put it back on the screen. I don't think we've plugged it enough. Let's hope I haven't misspelt it. Anyway, it's been a pleasure as always talking to you, Kevin. Thank you very much. We've got to move on, so I'm going to bring up Rode and Schwartz next.
Thank you, Ralph. Good job. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. And also, if anybody wants to get hold of you, you're via the IBC exhibitor booths. They can find you. Kevin Joyce.
Very good.